Hey guys, it's Villain Fury, and I don't really know how to start this video. It's not the video I wanted to make today, let's put it that way. I've been making videos for not quite a year now, but probably, 9 or so months, I would estimate, and it's gone pretty well. But I've never really talked to you guys about, the behind the scenes, Maybe one question on, the podcast Shadow of the Cast would drag it out of me and I'd, give a little bit, but generally I keep to myself. I am in all honesty, way too introverted to do YouTube. But I love this. I love making videos. And if you're new to the channel, this is the wrong first video. I make videos about Marvel Champions, the card game. It is very nerdy, but that's kind of what I love. And I'll be honest, guys, my motivation is at an all-time low. And there's a few factors in this. And it's interesting thinking back to when I started the channel. My intention was just, 5 to 15-minute videos on these interesting like niche topics, or this unused archetype I thought could, use some, light shed on it, or maybe to do a gameplay video to show off a deck I had built or something like that. I thought that'd be really fun. You know, when Tony Tales left YouTube, and I would say he is the, he's the original, really analytical Marvel Champions YouTuber. I used to watch basically exclusively him. I didn't know really other Marvel Champions YouTubers really existed, and I learned a lot from that, and that really got me into the game, significantly more. I started playing around the time of Galaxy's Most Wanted, and yeah, if it wasn't for Tony Tales, this channel wouldn't exist. I wouldn't have got this much into the game. Taught me a lot, and it was incredible. So I'm hugely, hugely thankful to Tony. And he actually had me on his podcast for one episode once, which is my first time on YouTube talking about Marvel Champions. So that was a fantastic opportunity. And if you remember that, you're a real one. But since then, I went on to become, I would say quite a fairly well-known deck builder on Marvel CDB. And I ended up doing some videos with Nelson about deck building on his channel. And I did a series about unusual decks for the X-Men characters, and that was just a series of decks I made, and I handed one out to different creators, and seeing the response those got on YouTube just, blew me away. People were engaging with them at a much deeper level than on, Marvel CDB, the main website that hosts decks, and it was really cool to see that. And since Tony Towers had left, and I love the kind of analytical stuff, I thought I could maybe, fill kind of that niche. I don't want to copy him, and I don't think I have, but I want to hit the same kind of, level of detail and that kind of thing. And I think it's done pretty well. But like I say, I was meant to do these, short videos on, these little interesting topics, and I've ended up doing that still, but also covering all the new releases, also doing big videos exploring all of the heroes in different contexts and things like that. And it's been really cool, in all honesty, even if that's not, my initial intention. But it's been kind of a lot to try and keep up with, and I've taken a couple of breaks for, a month or two at a couple of points, and this all normally starts for a reason. In end of November, I came down with a cold, just a simple cold, but my throat isn't the greatest. It's always kind of irritated. It's through allergies and stuff. I tend to, when something messes up, with my sinuses or my throat, I tend to get it very bad. Had a case of tonsillitis last year, not the first time that year either, but it ended up getting a bit more complicated somehow, and I ended up, having to go to hospital. Only briefly, it was fine. In the grand scheme of things, I can look back at it, but I'm a very introverted person who has a bad throat. After videos, my throat is often quite sore when I finish recording. Maybe I'm not the most natural person to be a YouTuber, but it's been fun, but it's also had its difficulties. Around that time in November, as I started to feel better, unfortunately, one of my family members had to go to hospital. I haven't really talked about this much. They're doing a lot better now, but it was quite serious. Everyone has stuff like this. Not looking for sympathy, but it kept me away for a while and made me reevaluate things. And I had so much more free time. I wasn't building decks. I wasn't making videos. I had more time to actually play the game during this period, or just relax, put my attention on other things. And I almost decided to retire from the channel then. And it's kind of funny, the channel did way better than I have ever expected it to. When I made my first video, I didn't even know if it would get 10 views or anything. Getting picked up by the algorithm is, sometimes a bit of a challenge. I've had, a lot of people don't get the start I get, but because I made decks and I was kind of known for that, because I was on Nelson's channel, my deck kind of blew up my deck. This is what comes from being a deck builder for so long. My channel blew up pretty quickly. My second video kind of went nuclear. It is my biggest video to date by a huge chunk. And it's interesting to think back on this, because originally I was a deck builder, and one of the reasons I transferred over to YouTube, in addition to the things I said, seeing all the kind of engagement, seeing there's kind of a niche kind of left by Tony Townsend, I didn't see a lot of the videos I wanted to watch, so I started to make them. But also, it was very stressful and making me anxious to post decks, because there is, I would say, a group, but it's really spearheaded by one person who's, I would basically get hell every time I posted a deck that did well. And I had actually a lot of people well known in the community, reach out to me and say, sorry, this is happening, this sucks. It's a jealousy thing, and I ultimately now think it is, and actually I think it's pretty sad. It is what it is. I don't want to say any names, and if anyone wants to put any dots together, please just don't mention it. It is not something I want to stir up, but all this negativity toward me, I basically was afraid to post any deck, and it was just really stressful. And I still posted a couple, but I really shortened my write-ups. It became less and less often, and now I basically don't do it. But it basically drove me to YouTube, because all the YouTubers, well, instead of being really competitive and jealous, were actually really friendly, and they like to work with each other. And they said, come and be on my channel, or come and build a deck to play on my channel. And it basically said, why not just do YouTube? So that is part of the reason I am here. There's been a little bit of adversity on YouTube since I started, but for the most part, it's actually been incredibly successful. People have been really kind. I don't feel anxious about posting videos at all, which is really good, despite being so introverted and putting them out there on the internet. So in some ways, it's been good, and I think it's been actually good for my confidence and stuff. If you watch my first couple of videos, although I don't kind of recommend that at this point, I am so incredibly stilted, talking on camera. I'm very uncertain. There's a lot more and I still have a few of that going on. It's not like I've solved speaking, publicly or into a camera, but I've definitely come a long way, and it's been really fun to do that. But all this rambling is just kind of leading up to my main point here about where my motivation is today. Having all that free time, sort of December, January, I almost quit the channel. I almost, said to my partner, when I get to 1K subscribers, I've done YouTube. I've succeeded in this kind of, niche kind of genre of Marvel Champions. This is very niche. If you're making videos for Marvel Champions, you're doing it because you love the game. There is no money or fame to be made with YouTube and Marvel Champions. But it went really well. I never expected the success I got, particularly from that second video that kind of just blew up and, got the channel where it is today, really. And I'm really grateful, honestly. I don't expect any video I do, I don't feel like entitled it should get this many views or that many views. Of course, there is kind of a standard I'm used to, and obviously if it goes below the usual, I'm kind of like, maybe I did something a little bit wrong here, or this topic wasn't as interesting. But I am honestly just really thankful you guys are actually, interested and spend your time watching my videos. So if you've ever watched a video, liked, commented, subscribed, if you're on my Discord especially, thank you so much for contributing and taking the time out of, our all very busy lives. There's so much going on in the modern day, so many distractions, so many forms of entertainment and information, that if you've chosen to spend it with me, I am truly, deeply, really appreciative. When I first did these videos and I saw the, amount of view hours, thinking people, collectively have spent hundreds of hours listening to what I had got to say as just this introverted guy posting, these little funny Marvel decks. It's kind of intimidating, and I've kind of got used to it now, which is weird to think about. But I put one video out there, let's say 500 views. That could be like, depending on the length of the video, hundreds of hours of different people watching it, because my video is kind of quite long in general. So yeah, it's crazy to think about, and I am ever so grateful. And we're now on the cusp of 2,000 subscribers, which is, in some ways hilarious to me. Like, I never thought we'd get to this point. But in other ways, I am, really humbled by it. So thank you to everyone. And it kind of leads me to where we are now. So I ended up, after, my December, January break, making videos again. And I really enjoyed it, to be honest with you. I got really into it. And I've had periods on the channel where I've made, 10 videos in a month. Others where I've made 1 or 2. And then, I've had this couple of gaps in making videos. And I was actually really excited for the upcoming expansion, Age of Apocalypse. And expansion releases are huge, just for people playing the game in general, but if you make content based on this very niche game, these surges of activity that happen around expansion releases are, I don't want to say they're, crucial, but they make a significant difference. I've only, had my channel going for, I think the previous expansion, Next Evolution, really kind of around then. That's when I started the channel. And as my channel blew up. It was a big time around then. And I say blew up in terms of the Marvel Champions community. This is still a very, very small fry channel on YouTube in general. If you look at the big picture, I think. But these expansion releases create a surge of activity around the game, a surge of people watching, videos, and even hero packs do the same, though to a slightly lesser degree. Is still very much a thing. So the fact that Age of Apocalypse was delayed for weeks and weeks in the UK, and I think also maybe Canada, maybe a couple other places, but it's really, as a content creator, it hurt me pretty badly because not only am I deeply invested in the community, but I make videos of it. This is, basically my main kind of like hobby kind of thing. And to suddenly not have the releases when, there are places in the world that don't get the releases on time, but to suddenly not have it available when it's normally available when I was anticipating it was a really heavy blow, because suddenly I couldn't participate in any of the discussion. I couldn't, play along and join in with everyone. I couldn't make videos, and because I'm, believe it or not, I take my integrity really, really, really seriously. I want to make sure it's my opinion. I want to make my own first impressions, that kind of thing usually. So I didn't watch any videos, I didn't watch any streams, and because I wasn't making any videos though, the channel lost out significantly. Now, purely because there was a surge of activity, I saw a big jump in subscribers. My other videos were getting, many more views than normal, and I could have made videos on other topics about the game, but I didn't have the motivation. I was, very disappointed that I couldn't join in when I had been able to do that previously, basically for the rest of the, all the X-Force heroes, all of that. And usually, even when I was just making decks, not videos, I was still able to keep up and participate with all the releases. So even though I wasn't making videos, I did get kind of a surge of activity. But had I posted videos, it would have been that much greater. And it's interesting because, no one does this just, for the numbers or anything that, YouTube can offer you, because it's such a niche, genre. But I put my heart into this. I put a lot of effort into this. And to miss out on these, significant, things just because I can't actually get hold of the actual product my whole channel and hobby is based around, it just sucks. It's the missed, potential there. You see channels, very deserving channels like Web Warriors Fanatics, getting, a few hundred subscribers in this period. I'll be getting videos out about, Bishop, Magic, all this kind of stuff, interesting gameplay videos about these villains that I haven't even, got my hands on, let alone played, let alone been able to make videos on. So it's just, for a channel that has been covering all the recent releases, sometimes on my own, sometimes with Nelson, with the article, analysis and things, to suddenly just not be able to do anything for weeks and weeks, despite ordering it. I had a store in the US very kindly. Actually, they sent it out early, a couple of days before release, because they knew it wouldn't actually reach me in time. And they sent it on the most express delivery they could with, USPS. It was like 3 to 5 days estimate, even for this international delivery. Turned out it took 3 weeks. That was not their fault. It was the postal system. If you're in the US, what do you think about your postal system? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, when I did eventually get the game, people already had tons and tons of videos out. And let me show you what I mean by this. So if I search for Magic in Marvel Champions, I see Nelson's review, and look how happy he looks. Nelson's done a really great review there. D20's talked about it. There's first impressions, there's different discussions. They've all got these videos with over 1,000 views on it, and mine's caught up pretty decently. But at the same time, where is it? You search for it, and you can find my old video I did the preview, and I guess it's a funny topic. Looking responding to announcements of new heroes does better than when the hero is actually out and you can play it and reveal everything and talk about it then. But where is my video? How far do you have to scroll down? Because I did do a video on Magic, and it's just nowhere to be seen. And, you know, this is part of the problem. It is just such a significant detriment to not be able to respond to the new releases in a timely fashion when your channel has been known for it. A lot of people say their favorite content of me is watching my reviews and analysis of the new stuff. And yeah, it's been really sad not to be able to participate, sad to miss out on all this, sad to play catch up. And now I've got my Magic and Bishop reviews out. We've got the podcast out that's now recorded in a few days about the expansion. I'm I'm proud of those videos, but at the same time, it felt forced to do it. People had already done it. People had already, watched those videos from other people. My opinion was super late, and it's not irrelevant, but I didn't really want to make those videos. I had to really try and muster up the motivation to do so. And if you guys watched my reaction with Nelson when Iceman was, revealed, we can probably look at that now. Let's have a look. We have, Marvel Champions hero preview with Villain Theory. This is like, I don't know, 5,000 views for a new hero announcement thing. Is one of the highest ones I can remember seeing. You can look at D20's 2.5. Mine was 2.3 here. But for some reason, my one with Nelson, it's done so incredibly well in comparison. And Nelson's an amazing creator, so it's all deserved. But we were both incredibly enthusiastic about Iceman because we thought he looked incredibly fun. Now, I'm not sure exactly when, this video is coming out exactly, but basically Iceman had just released and I can't play him because guess what's also delayed in the UK? It's Iceman. So this hero I was incredibly enthusiastic about. I was really looking forward to getting back on, the regular releases, catching up with everyone. I was really excited for that. And really excited for Iceman. I was like, everything's going to be good again. Guess what? Delayed, and I can't do it. And I think there's, quite a big shipping crisis going on. Ships are having to take longer routes than usual because of some unrest in certain areas of the world, and that, cannot be helped. Fantasy Flight Games cannot solve that, I don't think. I don't know much about shipping, but, it is what it is. And, I can't, affect that. I can't, change that. But it is sad. It is quite demotivating. I really, really hoped I was going to be able to play Iceman, review him. Really excited. Several builds in different aspects I had, ready to try, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and that's just receiving Iceman, let alone being able to play and test him enough to get one of my really nerdy analytical videos out about him that I'm happy with. I need the experience to be able to make that. So yeah, it's going to be a while until you see anything on Iceman. If I do anything on Iceman, I probably will. But the point is, this shipping problem could potentially go on. I don't know, months, years. I don't know. I don't have a clue, and that means maybe Jubilee, the next hero pack, is going to be delayed. Maybe the next one. Maybe the next one, and I think back to December, January kind of time. And I'm thinking, is it worth me, stressing and having my hopes dashed all this time? Am I going to go months in a row of this happening again and again? Is it worth continuing? And definitely still, I've already said I probably will at some point when Iceman comes out do a video. I still kind of want to right now, but it's definitely affected me quite a lot, and this has gone on quite a while. So the long story short here is, I think I'm going to be slowing down videos on the channel. Not too sure how that's going to look, and in some ways maybe taking the pressure of making videos will actually motivate me to make videos more, because I don't feel, there's no real actual pressure to do it. It's kind of self, inflicted. But since people have, my videos do so well, I do like to, you guys put a lot of your time into watching me. I like to try and give that back, and it's just, I don't know, it's difficult. But we'll see. My health maybe not being so good is why I've had time to do this. It's actually improved quite a bit overall. I have a lot more energy day to day, a lot more focus, a lot more clarity. Maybe clarity of purpose. I am hoping to get back into proper full-time work soon, get everything back on track, which is going to affect my time for making videos. And it's interesting. I have been offered a way to get Iceman, in a week or so, a really express delivery kind of thing. It seems a bit more certain than the last time I thought that happened, but it's going to cost like $65 or something. That's just for delivery. It's to fly it out here, which for a hero pack is ridiculous. Um, so I can't justify that. I can't afford it, in all honesty. And money's an interesting topic because I didn't start this to make money, but my channel, once you hit 1K subscribers, you can actually, kind of start to monetize it a bit. And I do get a little bit of revenue, but it is pathetic. The amount of hours I spend, per video on average compared to what I get from it. I would make more money begging on the streets. That's I hope that's not insensitive, but it is genuinely, basically true. I get such a small fraction of minimum wage over here, and obviously minimum wage over here is significantly better than some countries would get. I'm very privileged to live where I do, but on the other hand, things are somewhat more expensive over here in some aspects. Long story short, is I'm not made of money, uh, and Marvel Champions YouTube does not make money. It is not worth the hours I put into it. It is just such a small fragment. Sometimes I'll put like 3 to 6 hours into a video sometimes, and it might make I don't know, $5. It is what it is. Some videos obviously do a little bit better, but it's still a very small fraction of minimum wage over here. So, and it's just difficult. If I'm gonna lack the time, I'm lacking the motivation, and now I'm lacking the products. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to stop making videos. I've had enough of all the delays. I've had enough of the setbacks. I'm just rambling at this point. It's probably been a much longer video than I intended, but I will still keep making videos. But I'm gonna commit to making the podcast, Shadow of the Cast, once a month, barring any emergencies, like I don't know, doing a podcast on Age of Apocalypse. But Age of Apocalypse not turning up for weeks. That'll be once a month still. I really enjoy doing that with Nelson. That's really fun. Maybe I'll try and keep doing one video a month, and I might do more. I might, do a lot more. I'm not making any promises either way, but that's kind of where things are. And it kind of leads me to something. This is kind of what the video has been building to in a way, something I didn't really want to have to do. I've been able to, well, let me say what I'm about to say. Given all these setbacks and things, what I am doing today is starting both a Patreon and opening channel memberships on YouTube. Now, I could have done these channel memberships on YouTube, a long time ago, and anyone can set up a Patreon whenever they like. But I haven't wanted to do that. I haven't really needed to do that. I haven't really had much of a reason to uh, until this juncture. So I'm going to be doing that, and there's no pressure to do that. If you guys don't want to, absolutely no problem. I am not going to be hiding any content whatsoever behind pay, and I don't actually know how much content there is going to be, which might seem a funny time to do it, to open these, but I want you guys to have all the information. I'm not saying pay this subscription and you can get extra videos or see them early, and there's nothing wrong with that. We're all trying to make our way through an increasingly, at least over here, much more expensive world. But if you have disposable income, you really enjoy these videos and you want to support the channel, it would be a huge help. And if this does well, maybe I'll increase video output. I want to put the money, if I get, I don't know if anything is going to happen here, realistically, and I know it's a bit of an ugly topic, oh, money, but if, we get people, subscribing, memberships and, Patreon subscriptions, I want to put this money back into the channel. And my camera is very low end, my microphone is very low end, and it's taken months and months of YouTube basically just to pay that off, which is silly, but I would love to put it into better equipment. I could get some lighting. I'm at the mercy of the weather. It's a bit cloudy right now here. There's a window kind of opposite me almost. I'm at the mercy of that. If you look at my Magic review, actually, you see it's very dark because I reviewed it late. I did have all the lights on I had to hand. It was just, it's that kind of thing. If you guys are interested, I'll probably do a poll immediately for any, members or Patreon subscribers. I can do polls for each of those, so it doesn't matter which option you go for. I'll do a poll for people where they want to see, their funding go, I could put it into getting Iceman here faster, but I don't know if that's cost efficient versus maybe getting some better equipment. I'd love to start doing, the odd gameplay video, and those are actually generally, I think, less effort than these huge big presentations where I'm deeply analyzing something I spent, a long time doing and then editing. Uh, so that might be something I can actually start to do more of as well. And I have a setup for it prepared, but it's very scuffed. I've got one of like old dining chairs with a bar taken out so I can clip like the camera stand to it. Because I could put it on the table, but it would shake every time I touch the table. And it's still a low end camera as well. Um, I could put stuff into making that better. We could have better tokens. I've got some nice tokens, but we could have better lighting for that, better camera, better way to actually shoot the video. Uh, Anything kind of on there is what I'm thinking. I think that could be really fun. Maybe we could even get some better software for recording. That could help a lot as well. Even for the podcast, we have, a fairly scuffed setup. It's not a ultra professional setup, put it that way. So by and large, anything that comes in from this, I want to put back into the channel. But for the most part, I don't expect anyone to do that. And none of my content is going to be kept behind a paywall. So if you're watching this thinking, you ain't getting nothing from me, which should probably be all of you, if I'm honest, and would probably be me if I'm watching in general. I don't have a lot of, let's say, disposable income. But the point is that if you just watch the videos, if you ever click the like button, if you have subscribed, that is all the support I could really ever ask for. And even that, just watching the videos is honestly incredible. And if you've ever shared the video, uh, I'm incredibly so grateful. So if you want to support the channel, that is all you really have to do, and that is already beyond what I would expect. If you want to get crazy, you could turn off your ad blocker, which I know you're using. I'm talking to you when you watch the videos, but ads are so incredibly annoying, so I'm not asking anyone to do that. So that's kind of where we are. I think if there is a interest in the channel that way, if we can get some better things going, make videos maybe easier for me to record, maybe get Iceman or Jubilee here faster, that is going to help a lot. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at. But that is completely optional. And I guess I should use this opportunity to talk about what's coming up in the future. If you guys have watched a video this long, you guys are probably quite interested in the channel. I do want to do more stuff. It's tricky because I think about stopping. I think about stopping making videos. It's quite cathartic in a way. But then I think about all the videos I want to make, and I really want to make them. So what I would love to make is I would like to do a sequel to my how to pair the aspects video, and I did an understanding the aspects video as well. And in that, I talked about a video about how to pair specific heroes together. I think that would be super fun for multiplayer. And if you've never played, two-handed or multiplayer, that could really be a helpful video. I recently did a video called The Evolution of Heroes. I think that's a really fun topic. There are tons more heroes and things we could explore of that. I'd like to do a sequel. But I also promised long ago I would do like a villain ranking and that kind of thing. And I probably still will. That is something I've actually started working on a little bit behind the scenes. We've also got new villains there and things, and that's a big undertaking to do with the level of quality I want to. A level of quality like I've done with the heroes. I think villains are very unexplored and unanalyzed, to the same degree as heroes by far. Not even like 5%, 10%, I would say, in all honesty. So I would still like to try and find time to do that. Maybe some modular sets. But I did promise you guys some deck building stuff, maybe even some aspect deep dives. And the reason I haven't done that outside of Pool, because that was quite topical, it was new, is because I decided there wasn't any point diving into archetype videos if I hadn't done basic deck building videos, because everything I'd want to talk about and how to build around archetypes would have to build off the back of just baseline foundational deck building. So I decided I should do a deck building series first, but that is proving to be a huge undertaking as well, because I want to do it right. Because if I'm trying to help people build decks, I need to make sure that the quality of the information is presented in the most understandable way, as possible, most easy to grasp correctly kind of way, but also that the information is good and as far as it can be, correct. There are a lot of ways to make decks, but I don't want to give out any bad recommendations, put it that way. But that is all stuff I really want to start doing. But there's other things as well. Like I said, I'd love to try some gameplay. There's so much to do, and yeah, here I am, unable to play the latest stuff. Wow, eyebrows. got a stress twitch. I don't know if that is picked up on the camera. Uh, Maybe this is getting to me a bit too much. Um, but yeah, honestly, that's about it, guys. If you want to, like or subscribe, hugely appreciate it. If you watch the channel at all, hugely appreciated. If you have the means to, and if you don't have the means to, please don't spend anything you cannot comfortably do. But if you do want to support the channel, links are going to be down below. Super, super appreciated. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you guys are enjoying Iceman. I think he looks really, really fun. I am excited to hopefully play him at some point. I am, regardless of what happens in the future, I'm definitely going to keep playing Marvel Champions. So, bit of a strange video, but yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what I get to and how things go. I do actually have a giveaway I want to do in the future. I was actually, I've been to 2 of the, promo events for the X-Force promo hero cards, villain cards, that kind of thing myself, and I've got a lot of cards from that. But an anonymous benefactor also did send me quite a lot of cards as well. Probably about 60% of the things I have to give away has now come from them, maybe slightly more. So I am going to be giving away a lot of X Factor promo cards, which I teased a while ago. But again, I haven't quite got around to it. But I think that would be really fun to do as well. So whatever happens with the channel, whether I get, any more support now or none at all, I will definitely still be doing that for you guys. So keep your eyes peeled. If you want to jump in the Discord and join in the discussion about Marvel Champions with me, link for that is down below as well. Thanks so much, guys, and have a great day. And hopefully I don't have to do a video quite like this again, but maybe I'll update you guys in the future about how things are going. I do have an interesting other video idea series, and I've got so many interesting video ideas, but would include a lot of, viewer participation, which, if things are going well enough in the future, maybe I will talk about that in the next one of these in, however long time. But thank you so much. See you guys. Bye.